Hey VC, it's Glen Kellaway from the basement. It's Saturday, 10 to 1 in the afternoon here in Trenton, Ontario. Not a bad day. It's a bit brisk, but not too bad at all for close to December. I want to do a video today on one of my musical heroes, just to show some of the stuff that I have. The gentleman that's looking over my shoulder there, Jerry Garcia, probably the coolest dude that ever walked this planet. Everybody knows Jerry from the Grateful Dead, obviously. I'm sure Grateful Dead fans know a lot about Jerry's solo career and everything, but that's what I really wanted to focus on today, was his solo stuff, because I'm not sure how many people who aren't into the Grateful Dead realize that Jerry had quite the solo career. You know, the Grateful Dead had, they performed something like 3,000, somewhere between 3,000 and 3,500 live shows from 1965 or 66 or whatever to 1995 when Jerry passed away. Recorded, I think, all of them. There's just a wealth of CDs, box sets of whole tours and stuff. Like, check out Randy Weaver's channel if you want to see. He's got a huge collection of all that stuff. I saw the Grateful Dead in 1970 at Festival Express. It's the only time I saw them. Wasn't a huge Dead fan then. Just, I was more into heavier blues rock. Allman Brothers turned me on a lot more than the Grateful Dead did. I didn't dislike them, just didn't really pay attention to them. Obviously heard songs like Friend of the Devil and that kind of stuff. The Casey Jones ended up with a hits album at some point. But I came to the Dead by falling in love with Jerry Garcia. And the first album I bought, Jerry Garcia, I didn't know Jerry had a solo career, because that's how much I didn't pay attention to the Grateful Dead back then. It's funny now, because I'm a huge freaking freak for the Grateful Dead. I wouldn't call myself a Deadhead, because I never followed them around, and I can't tell you what the best version of Dark Star is and all that. I just love the band. But the first Jerry Garcia album I bought, because I was a banjo player and into acoustic music, was this, the Jerry Garcia Acoustic Band, which came out sometime in the mid-'80s. This album has a lot of traditional bluegrass stuff on it, and a mix of a couple of songs that the Dead did. My favorite song is on here, Ripple. It's pretty much the first time I was really got heavy into that song. It's the closing song on the album, and yeah, so that kind of motivated me to check out the Dead. But so I just stuck with this and started buying a few Dead. Like, I have Working Man's Dead and American Beauty, which is my favorite Grateful Dead album. You know, like a hits album and all that stuff. But anyway, so I didn't buy solo Jerry stuff for the longest time either. So, but I do have some of his solo albums. This is a great album. These albums ended up having a lot of songs on them that the Dead put in their shows over the years. The Wheels on this one. What else? There's a labeled one, Round Records. These are reissues. Deal, Bird Song, which is about Janis Joplin. Sugary, Loser, all songs that ended up as staples in the Grateful Dead sets. So there's that album. Here's another one, Jerry Garcia. This one is called Reflections. It also has some songs on there that we would know from the Dead. It Must Have Been the Roses is on here. Comes a Time, another song that the Dead would play quite often. Might As Well. Missions in the Rain, They Loved Each Other. Great stuff. Great albums. These are fantastic records. So there's, like there is with the Dead, there is a tremendous amount of material out there. Jerry recorded, I'm sure, all his live shows as well. He did stuff. He had the Jerry Garcia band. He did stuff with a great keyboard player named Merle Saunders, who did some soundtrack work, I think. I'll show you some of this stuff. In the last few years, the Jerry Garcia estate, whoever looks after him, has started releasing his live shows in this series, Garcia Live. So there are now, I think, 13 or 14 volumes. I'm not going to show them all. This is volume 1. Volume 1 is from March 1st, 1980, Capitol Theater. Jerry would do tons of, so he did Sugar E on this, was the Grateful Dead. He did a lot of, he loved soul music, Motown, R&B as well. Jerry just loved music. He played everything. So he does great versions of like How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. He does Dylan covers, Sweet Simple Twist of Fate. That's All Right, Mama. He does that. That's What Love Will Make You Do, another great soul song. The Harder They Come, Jimmy Cliff. Just a ton of Dear Prudence on here too. There's always a Beatles connection. Volume 2 was the Greek Theater, 1990, August 5th, 1990. Again, How Sweet It Is. Forever Young, another Dylan song. That's What Love Will Make You Do. Again, Tears of Rage. The Harder They Come. It Stoned Me, Van Morrison. Waiting for a Miracle. He did a great cover of Bruce Cockburn, great Canadian. He did a great version of that. Evangeline, which is a song Los Lobos did as well. Think, That Lucky Old Sun, which is an old classic song. Volume 3, I'm just going to show 5 volumes of this. There's Volume 3, Legions of Mary. This is from December 14th, 15th, 1974, Northwest Tour. Who's on here? The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. He does Freedom Jazz Dance. I'm not sure whose jazz song that was, but he does that on here. Mystery Train, How Sweet It Is. You Can Leave Your Hat On, Randy Newman. I Second That Emotion is on here, and Roadrunner, another classic song. Volume 4, Jerry Garcia Band, March 22nd, 1978, Veterans Hall. These are cool sets. They're like 2 or 3 CDs. There's Jerry. You know, Jerry was missing his middle finger. He had an accident when he was a kid and lost his middle finger. And that's the symbol that always kind of symbolizes his Jerry. Yeah, there's a 2-disc set, this one. This one, How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. Again, Simple Twist of Fate, I Second That Emotion, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, The Harder They Come. What else would be on here? Yeah, there's just a ton of stuff on here. And then Volume 5 is the last one I'll show in this series. This is New Year's Eve, 1975, Keystone, Berkeley. Mother Nature's Son is on here, another Beatles cover. Who else is on? Anything else exciting on here that we haven't mentioned yet? CC Rider. Great sets. Again, there's Jerry's hand. There's Jerry playing with John Conn as bass player. And again, oh, the book came out. I might as well show it. There's a booklet that comes with it. Keystone Theater. I'll bet you Mazzy went to a few of these shows. I would love to talk to Mazzy about that. I think Nicky Hopkins played on these shows, the New Year's Eve gig. So More stuff would be, I mentioned Merle Sanders. This is a great box set. This music is incredible. There's Jerry Garcia, Merle Saunders, the complete 1973 fantasy recordings, Keystone Companions. This is a 4-disc set, fantastic music. Again, you can see the songs I Second That Emotion, Someday Baby, which is a blues song. What else? Hard to read that. It's backwards in my screen. The Harder They Come, Takes a Train to Laugh, Takes a Lot to Laugh, Takes a Train to Cry, another great Dylan song. It's Too Late, which is another good blues song that was on Derek and the Dominoes, Layla. My Funny Valentine, classic jazz tune. That's All Right Mama, The Harder They Come, Money Honey, another old song. Positively 4th Street, another great Dylan song. Yeah, just an excellent, excellent set. Not expensive. Show you what comes with it. Just the box, the 4 CDs. It gives you the kind of that menu calendar that all those kind of bars always had in those days. There's the 4 discs. A beer thing. Put your beer on. Matches. Giant poster of the calendar showing who's playing there. This is July 1973. So let's check this out. Sunday, July 1st, 1973. John Lee Hooker. From the 5th and the 6th, Commander Cody and Asleep at the Wheel. Oh, man. Then the Saturday was Jerry and Merle. They come back again on the 10th and 11th, Jerry and Merle. Who else is on here? Old and in the Way. Oh my God, the Bluegrass Band with Jerry Garcia and David Grisman, Peter Rowan and Vassar Clements. My God. This would have been incredible to grow up in that era in San Francisco. My God, this would have been unbelievable. Then there's the front of the Keystone. Jerry and Merle advertised. It's just incredible. It's kind of a thing. I wonder if it shows anybody else here. Here's another one, Berkeley, Freddie King playing, James Cotton Blues Band. What a club this must have been. John Lee Hooker, Sons of Champlain, Cold Blood, Lightnin' Hopkins, Brian Auger, Etta James. Coming soon, Bobby Bear, Sleep at the Wheel. At the Gates Cow Palace. Wow, what historic stuff, eh? Incredible. Incredible. So, now that I mentioned Old and in the Way, Jerry did a lot of collaborations with, well, let's start with this. Before Jerry was famous with the Grateful Dead, he was a bluegrass musician and a folk singer. Played in bluegrass bands and folk stuff with Robert Hunter. This has been recently released. Jerry Garcia, Before the Dead, also available on vinyl. This is recordings that go back to 1961, believe it or not, at somebody's birthday party. Then it goes right up. 4 CD set. Really incredible, rootsy stuff. There's Jerry there. Isn't that incredible? Wow. Beautiful set. Jerry Garcia, Before the Dead. So anyway, one of the people he did meet there was David Grisman, the great bluegrass mandolin player. David Grisman's not just a bluegrass player. He plays jazz, he plays everything. He's just a monster musician. They didn't see each other for many, many years, and then in the 80s they reconnected and started making records together. I've got a few of those I would like to show you. This being my favorite one. This is a Mo-Fi original master recording, one of the best sounding records, or just albums, I guess, I have in my catalog. This was limited edition, 16, I got 01681. You can see the, yeah, beautiful, beautiful album this is. This is, I think, an essential recording. If anybody likes acoustic music, you would love this. There's also a vinyl edition of this, which I had at one point, and when I sold my vinyl, I lost it, but oh, I was dumb for selling off that vinyl. Now I'm picking it all back up again. Just stupid. Anyway, let's not get into that. I digress. Anyway, if you like acoustic music, look for this great album. That's my favorite Jerry and David one. Here's one he did with the incredible Tony Rice, David Grisman, and Jerry, the Pizza Tapes. The reason they called this the Pizza Tapes is they recorded this. Jerry took the tapes home, ordered a pizza, and left the tapes on the table, and the pizza guy stole the tapes. They had to get them back. So they named this the Pizza Tapes. This has got a lot of dialogue in it with Jerry and Tony meeting for the first time and jamming. I mean, two great guitar players playing. Well, sends shivers up your spine, man. This is Jerry and David. Been all around this world, mostly folk type stuff on this. They do Dylan cover a ballad of Frankie Lee and Judas Priest, which is one of my favorite Dylan songs. I'm Troubled, Blue Yodel number 9, 9 Pound Hammer, Sitting Here in Limbo, Dark as a Dungeon, Been All Around This World, which is a traditional song. Great, great album. Jerry and David, So What? Who's So What? Miles Davis. Covers of Miles Davis song. And then they do Bag's Groove, which by Milt Jackson. Do Milestones, another Miles Davis song. Then a David Grisman song called 1616. And then they just have alternate versions of those songs, but this is a cool acoustic jazz album. Beautiful cover too. So What? David Grisman, Jerry Garcia. One more, Shady Grove. Do an incredible job of Shady Grove, which is a great bluegrass, traditional rootsy tune. Stealin', Off to the Sea Once More, The Sweet Sea, Sunny South. These are all traditional, some sea shanties, some traditional old songs. Just great, great stuff. Great stuff. If you like acoustic music, man, check Jerry's solo stuff out with David Grisman. Unbelievable. What else have I got here? Show some other stuff. Here's stuff that's been released recently. This was Electric on the Eel. It is a 6-disc set, recorded in 1987. I think Jerry, they were trying to raise money for something for this. This was like there's a Jerry Garcia Band, August 10th, 87. I think for 2 years he played at this place. And they've got all the great covers on these CDs too. Very cool. Very cool. There's the book. All the stories. There's Jerry playing. Look at the man. He just loved to play music. That's all he lived for. Man, he just left us with a wealth of stuff. Thank God for that. Next would be Jerry Garcia Band, Fall 1989, Long Island Sound. Opening for the show, Bob Weir and Rob Wasserman. Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead and great bass player Rob Wasserman, who Bob played with quite a bit. This is a Oh, how many songs, CDs are in this set? I think it's 6. That's the book. There's all the CDs that come with it. Great stuff. And I got a couple more to show you. If you're looking for a good Jerry comp, this is awesome. A lot of studio stuff and a lot of live stuff on here. Mix of both. The very best of Jerry Garcia. This was a Rhino Records comp. Excellent. Pick this up if you just want to get, you know, a bit of everything. Really essential if you just want to branch out into the Jerry world. The very best of Jerry Garcia. And this was an interesting one too. This was Celebration of the Music of Jerry Garcia. It was a live concert that was put on May 17th, 2015. So it would have been, he died in, that was 20 years after his death, 20th anniversary show. Look at the lineup of people on here. Well, Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead, Alan Toussaint, the great New Orleans performer and writer, David Grisman, Peter Frampton, Buddy Miller, great country guy, Jorma Kaukonen from Jefferson Airplane and Hot Tuna. The Harder They Come, Jimmy Cliff did it himself. The Fire on the Mountain, Jimmy Cliff. Help Us on the Way, Slipknot, Bill Kreutzmann. Okay, who else is on here? Los Lobos, Trampled by Turtles, Yonder Mountain String Band, Eric Church, Widespread Panic. Really, really well done. All the songs are really well done. That is my Jerry show for today. One more thing, if you're still tuned in here, starting Wednesday, I'm really excited. I'm doing a joint video series with Lisa Tedesco. It's going to be on her channel, Lisa Tedesco. It's about the bass guitar, because we both learned how to play bass or on our bass journeys somewhere along the way. And it's going to be probably maybe like a 4-part series. We're going to start talking about, you know, how we kind of got into the bass and who inspired us, and, you know, little things about learning the bass guitar. Nothing technical, just our own, you know, thoughts about how we're doing. And then from there, talking about bass players, some examples of why they inspired us, some great records that feature the bass, what we've learned in our journey, and the bass guitar is such a great instrument. Takes a back seat to the lead singers and the guitar players, but man, essential part of a band. There's no doubt about it. The low end. So anyway, I hope everybody tunes in for that. I don't know when the first one will be uploaded, but we're going to do it Wednesday morning, so I'm assuming sometime, unless we do it live. Yeah, so that's it. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and peace out, everybody. Take care.